Hello and welcome to another AP Prep video. Today we're going to be talking about what you can do before the school year even starts to prepare for your AP classes and the AP exam in the spring. So mostly this is not going to talk about studying content months in advance because that's ridiculous and nobody is going to do it. I thought I was going to study content in each month leading up to the exam. Didn't happen. It's not going to happen. It's not very practical, and that's okay. We don't need to study for these exams years in advance or months in advance. I think 1 month is enough, but we're not here to talk about that today. The class itself does require sort of a methodical approach to studying for each unit because each unit test is going to be more in depth than the exam itself. But those units are going to prepare you for taking the big exam in the spring. So I think it is really important to sort of create a plan for studying for each unit while also getting the most out of your time for the exam later on, just so you can sort of cut down your study time and cut down your prep time when you hit April and May and start sort of panicking about what you're going to do for the exam. So enough chattering, I'm just going to get into it. This is sort of what I do at the beginning of each school year to try to prep for the AP class and make my life a little bit easier when the exam does come around. Mostly it has to do with gathering supplies and material and formulating a plan for how to approach the class. So the first tip I sort of have, if you're taking an AP class that requires any sort of math at all, is to learn how to use your calculator. This seems so obvious and stupid, but I did not know how to use my calculator in the way that the AP exam required until a couple days before the exam. So I would really, I hope everyone learns how to use the calculator during the time you are in the class, not before the test. It's not a good plan. It's a panicky plan. It's not, don't do it. Don't do what I did. Learn how to use the calculator. Learn how to do the calculator functions while you're in the unit itself. That way you don't have to panic before the exam. The next tip, and this one is going to sound a little stupid too, but it helped me, is find black pens you like at the beginning of the year. Do not wait until before the exam to gather all your AP exam supplies and find the things that you think would help you best during the exam. No, figure it out during the year. It'll also help you because during the units and when you're writing DBQs for APUSH or AP World or short answer questions for AP Stats or AP Bio or FRQs or whatever, use the black pen. Don't write in pencil when you're writing those things because on the exam, you're going to need to write in black or blue ink. I recommend black ink. Blue is weird to me. I don't know. That's just me though. And find ones that you really like. Go at the beginning of the year, get a bunch of them, try them out, test them out. If you don't like them, throw them away. But find ones that you actually like and wouldn't mind writing with for 3 hours because that's like the longest time you'll spend writing in an AP exam, like AP Lang. So find black pens you really like. This is one this is my favorite one. I don't know what this is. It's this one. It's from Target, but this is my favorite one. And I didn't have that one during the exam, and so I grabbed 17 different pens. I didn't know which one I wanted to use, and that slowed me down a lot, and I ended up running out of ink and smearing ink all over my hands with these ones. I think they're old, so that's probably why that happened, but don't do what I did. Find pens you really like and only take a couple. Don't take 17 because you're going to be dropping them during the exam, spreading them out all over the exam space. It's a mess. Don't do it. Find pens you like at the beginning of the year. Practice writing really quickly with those. Make your life so much easier. Like, that's what we're here to do. We're not here to spend 50 million hours in April and May prepping for the exams. We're trying to use our time in class to prep for the exams, and I think that's a much smarter way of going about it. I didn't always go about it that way. I tried to do better this year, but hey, it's a work in progress. The next tip I have is pencils. When you're doing multiple choice in class, practice the way you would during the exam. So bring your number 2 pencils, don't use mechanical pencils, and this is the best tip I ever had, dull the pencils out while you're bubbling in multiple choice. If you dull them out, you're able to fill the bubble faster, which I know is that's 1 second. But I sit there and get frustrated when I have a sharp pencil and I just sit there for 10 seconds to bubble it in. When you don't have that much time already, any second you can get out to save, do it. So that's my other tip. And find pencils you really like. Because if you're going to sit there and your hand's going to hurt and it's just a mess, it's not a fun time. So use pencils you really like. Everyone likes these, are the best, but this one, yeah. find pencils you really like, practice doing multiple choice with them with the time limit, and try the tip of dulling out the pencil. I think it will help you if you do it. And that's what I've learned for all standardized testing. It's one of the weirdly the best tips, although it seems like kind of silly and stupid. The next tip I have is buy the Barron's books before the school year even starts. When you get your schedule and you see all your AP classes, just go on Amazon and buy the Barron's books right then. Don't wait until the time you're prepping for the exam. Because when you're taking these unit tests, the Barron's books are divided into the same units generally that the teachers will divide their units into. So if you have the Barron's book the night before a unit test, you can just flip to that chapter, read it. It's going to be like 8 or 7 pages, probably, just a guess. And there's even practice at the back of each chapter for that chapter specifically. So you're going to be able to have sort of this preset study guide for all of your classwork and all of your tests that you won't have to make yourself or go on Quizlet to find. And you're going to buy the book anyway when you're preparing for the exam, so why not get it early and use it throughout the year and sort of take the stress off. And also when you're learning the content in the Barron's book all throughout the year, it's going to take less pressure. It's going to take the pressure off when you're studying for the exam because you're already going to be familiar with the content in the book and in each chapter. So I just think it's a really great way to get some practice in throughout the year, help study for the unit tests, and just take the pressure off. Because again, that's what we're here to do. So yeah, and also I think it's cheaper at the beginning of the year on Amazon when you buy the Barron's books, because it was like 33% off when I bought it last year in August, as opposed to going and buying it in, I believe, April. I think it's going to be a little more expensive. I don't know if that's like a thing or they were just, I don't know what the deal was, but it was actually a lot cheaper to buy it in August, and I was buying like 4. So I don't know, maybe you can get a good deal if you buy it early anyway, so I'd highly recommend that. And the last tip I have, this is I feel like this is kind of a personalized thing, so I don't know if it'll work for everyone, but get a bullet journal to track your progress. I'm going to show you really quickly a page in my bullet journal that's for AP prep. Let's see, that's ACT prep. Hang on. Ooh, I didn't do that one very well. Here we go. So yeah, obviously I'm not very fancy. I don't make like nice pages, but I have sort of all of my work lined up and I have little bars that I fill in. And they're kind of like progress bars. When I sort of do half an assignment, I'll fill in half the bar. And I think this is a really great way to track progress because sometimes you can't complete an assignment in one setting and you can't just check off a thing. So to have like sort of progress tracking instead of completion, checking it off the list or not, I think it's a really good way to stay motivated and organized. And yeah, I highly recommend this sort of way of organization, especially if you're not good with like a traditional planner. I highly recommend a bullet journal, and it is very like personal. You can make whatever sort of setup you want, what's more conducive to your lifestyle. So I highly recommend the bullet journal method. And yeah, a lot of people try to make theirs like all fancy and artistic, but I'm not an artist, so I just use pen, and it looks kind of like a 5-year-old did it, but it's fine, you know. It works for me. So yeah, and if you are super like artistic and you're sort of into that, it'll be really fun and something sort of to take your schoolwork and incorporate it into something that's more for like fun and relaxing. So yeah, highly recommend bullet journal method of organizing your work and the progress bar, especially if you can't finish it in one sitting. It's completely fine, and I do that a lot too. So yeah, I really hope this was helpful. Oh wait, I have one more tip. Never mind. Haha, just kidding. You can use like one of those study with me's on YouTube if you're sitting there for a long time, like studying for a unit test or trying to figure out how to do an assignment, or if you're writing a DBQ or something. I know you're not going to be able to use like study aids in the exam, but while you're trying to get into the rhythm of doing a lot of work in one sitting, those videos have been really helpful to me, especially like the Pomodoro ones where they give you a little break and they time it and everything. They will start to go by so fast if you sort of get into it and sort of get lost in the work that you're doing in the moment. And it's been really great for productivity, especially during COVID when I had absolutely no sense of time. So I highly recommend using those videos to get through tons of work. I know AP classes will generally have more work, than regular or honors. So that is a really great way to sort of tackle it and sort of ease your way into doing this amount of work, which is going to take a little bit longer. That is my last tip, and I hope you've enjoyed this. And if you have any other tips that I have not covered, please leave them in the comments. I would be glad to read them and pin them for other people to use. And if you have any questions or anything, I'd be more than happy to answer them. Until next time, see you later.